Hello again, and welcome back to the Automating Everything series. Today, I would like to extend what this cobblestone generator does here. I kind of want a sort of, well, there's a mod in here called Stoneworks, actually, and I like that name, so I'm thinking it's essentially a Stoneworks. I want to make, gravel, cobble, sand, that sort of thing. A lot of these natural blocks. Potentially this will include diorite, granite, maybe, andesite, stone, definitely, that kind of thing. We'll just have to see what we can actually make here. But it'll all be based off of various cobblestone generators on their own system, and I'll have to design a sort of building for it. I would also like to complete an actual base here. I've started a little bit. I'm trying to figure out how I want it to look. It's kind of gonna just be a very large house, essentially like a mansion, and I want it to have different floors. Like over here it kind of goes up 2 blocks, and I'll have dirt there to level it out. I might need to move this chicken head also somewhere else. I'm not entirely sure where. I'll figure that out. But yeah, I'm liking this palette. This just simple stone bricks and mahogany. It looks pretty nice, but we'll see how that goes. So those are the 2 main goals of today. As for our wood farm here, it's still going along nice. I actually did change out the depots just for barrels because I kind of wanted it to store a bunch of these on backlog effectively. As for this area here, I'm debating what I want to do with it. I kind of want something here, because this feels like a very central area, but I'm not entirely sure what as of yet. As for this building is probably going to go away, as it was good for the start of this, but now it just feels a little not as well thought out, and I'd like to design something a bit better. I'm thinking maybe over there, like along the hill here, in this area. Maybe somewhere there. Off camera, I also did do some exploring just over here. I actually ran into a village and had the thing that starts raids on, so I did a full raid, and there's some footage of it here. It's a little scary. It's been quite a while since I've last done a raid, but it went well overall, and now I have some totems of been dying, so I can hopefully not die much. Otherwise, I also replaced out my armor here with just a new set of emerald armor for the moment, because I kind of want to keep this armor, and it's old and it's very well broken. You can kind of see it there. I got a chunk loader here that kind of highlights the whole base over here, just to keep it chunk loaded so it's always making things. Let's see, I don't think there's any other changes. No, I added, I think, some more mods, but that's not entirely the point. So yeah, I think we should just get started on building the base here. Alright, so I've spent some time building here, and this is what I'm currently working with. Now, a lot of this stuff is still kind of temporary, and I don't really know what to do because I'm not wanting to move all this stuff, and I'll have to do so eventually here. But I wanted to give myself some good space here. So there's space here, there's also space up here that I haven't cleared out yet. And then on the outside here, I can get up and see that you can kind of see what I'm going for here. There's gonna be like deck kind of thing up there, and then down here of course too, and then there's going to be like house above it essentially. And within this will be basically all the things I need for progressing through the game while I make these various automation things. I also moved the chicken head over there for now. I'm not really sure what I want to do with it because it doesn't quite fit in with what I'm kind of going for with the aesthetic here, where it's like real buildings. Maybe I'll make a spot that has more silly builds, in which case, that'll work, but I'm not entirely sure. As for the stoneworks, I'm thinking somewhere over there will work. Oops. So yeah, I'm gonna continue working on the base here to hopefully get it to a functional point. I'm sure it won't be done. I wanted to get it at least started though. Alright, so since that last clip, it's now a new day, and I've spent some more time actually constructing the house here. And this is what I'm working with now. I decided to forego the second level here as it kind of inhibited my overall vision with this house. And probably multiple levels is going to be more of an interior thing I can do, especially with the basement down there. I can do lower or upper levels as necessary. But yeah, this is I cleared out all the space, and this is the overall outline of the house. It's probably going to be, I don't know, quite a few stories tall, maybe 3 to 4 if we include the basement. Just kind of depends. But yeah, I want it to be a nice big house so I can keep all my like progression and messing with various mods in here, while outside here are all the buildings. Now on this, I've been weighing switching out the palette to just be normal oak, and I think I might go ahead and do that because I feel like as it is currently, it doesn't quite fit with what the building actually does. So I'll probably use some spruce here, maybe, and then oak for the rest of it. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't actually tried it out, so we'll have to see. I also have this little staircase here to lead up to the inside, as well as 2 sort of side cellar doors, so that I can get to the basement easily. Most of the stuff has been left in place. I moved those things over there, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'll have to sort out what I actually want to do for storage. Of course, eventually we're going to have applied energetics set up, so it won't be a problem then, so I might just keep storage in the basement. Now, I want to try to keep this outline overall in the deck here. I know it kind of comes in, but then on the top it will go out there. Let's see. Last thing, I want to have a windmill on one of the faces of this house. I'm not entirely sure. Just some sort of windmill, maybe at the front here would be neat, or on that side over there. I'm not entirely sure. It's just so I can have create rotation in the house and have plenty of stress units, because this, I mean, I'll probably keep this somewhere. It's just not going to be shown, but I would like to have a windmill too. It might go off of that sort of tower because it would fit, but I'm not 100% sure yet. So yeah, I'm gonna get back into working on these buildings. In fact, I'm 100% sure this base will not be complete this episode. It's gonna be a multi-episode thing, but once I at least have maybe the basement sort of set up, we'll move on to making a Stoneworks. Alright, I spent some time to actually finish the floor there. Beyond that, I don't know, I'm still unsure if I want to change the color palette of this, because it does look pretty nice. And I feel like the oak might be a bit overwhelming like I initially thought, but I'm not entirely sure. As for our house over here, I'm still trying to figure out what the actual like wall color will be above this stone brick layer, and I'm not really decided on what that'll be. Now, I haven't finished the whole floor, mainly over this section, because this will require completely ripping up my set create stuff with all this processing stuff, which would be annoying, and I'll need to have a place to put that before I rip it up, so it's going to stay here for now. So next, I want to work on a Stoneworks. I'm thinking putting it close to the base here, maybe somewhere in here. Was thinking maybe it would be underground, but now that I thought about it some more, it could be annoying to get to, so I think I'll keep it above ground for now. Maybe, I mean, the processing could be more underground, but the actual building for it is probably going to be decently large. It's going to be like stone bricks and that sort of thing, and it should make a lot of different stone and stone related stuff. At least that's the hope, with each sort of line having its own sort of production of cobblestone, then stone, or whatever is needed. So yeah, I shall start working on the actual Probably the automation first, and then the building around it. Alright, so it is now a new day, but I have figured out a sort of design here. Instead of going for a full-on building, I'm thinking more of like an open sort of shelter of sorts, with stacks of gravel or cobblestone and all the other stones here, basically. And I'll expand this out so it kind of dithers almost with the ground around it. And then back here we'll have some sort of supports that hold it up over this cave. But we'll also be using the space underneath to actually do the automation of these things. So yeah, I started clearing the space out down here. Probably clear maybe a little bit more, but I mean, this will basically be it. Go all the way over and find, it should go, yeah, right to here. So sort of have like a lower part and then an upper part. The upper part will just be this simple sort of shelter, while the lower part will be the actual automation. Alright, so I've spent some time here, and I've finally set up both the production of gravel here and the production of cobblestone. The cobblestone generator is pretty much the same as the original one was. I just added some extra drills here, so it'll be producing more. This is all now blown up through these chutes, through by this encased fan. If we go up here, inside our sort of cobblestone mound, and here there is a funnel which will take the cobblestone and put it into the drawer. On the other side over here we have gravel, and it's the same sort of thing up top here where we have a chute that goes into a funnel. But for gravel we need to crush the cobblestone down, so that's what this does. These two crushing wheels, which are connected to their own sort of stress unit power, these are provided with just enough rotation where it'll grind down the cobblestone quick enough so then it's sent up the chute just like that. And then I'm running lines straight across here to basically use the same power, because the fans need to have a certain amount while the belts don't need as much. So it's just easier to run it like this, and then the drills are similar where I have a line back there. Next up, I'll probably want to do sand, I think. And we might want to actually expand the size of this, because every sort of 5 wide spot gets its own production thing. So like this is gravel, this is cobble. Down here, if I measure it out with this being the center, because the drawers are in the center of these each time, you can see that if I, 1, 2, 1, 2, it's exactly pretty much 5 wide, and the same goes for this. It's pretty much exactly 5 wide. So we kind of have these like modules, but point is we might need to extend it that way to have room for more. We do have the other side over here. This side over here to set up on, but we'll just have to see, I guess, because I would like to be producing andesite and probably diorite, maybe granite, maybe just andesite for now, because andesite is the most necessary. But we'll need diorite, and diorite production, for doing it via create, the best way is to do it, andesite compacting is using flint, gravel, lava to make andesite, or if I go here, we could make diorite and cobble into andesite. Now making diorite, we can use quartz and cobble, which is pretty easy. The only problem is it doesn't seem, you have to do a shaped crafting for that, which will hurt its rates. So I'm thinking we go the route of this. Now this will require producing lava. And there are a whole host of ways we can try to produce lava, but I mean, there's the traditional route in the current version of the game using pointed dripstone, which we can just drip down into a ton of cauldrons. But that could be unreliable, let's just say. The other option is to melt cobblestone down using a create mixer that is superheated. Now this introduces its own problems in that we need to heat this blaze burner and give it a blaze cake as well. Now I need to check if we just need to give it one blaze cake and then keep it fueled. Because if we just need to keep it fueled, then what we can do is take some wood from over here, maybe turn it into charcoal at some point, and then just feed it directly into the blaze burner, essentially. Because we have plenty of logs, this is producing plenty. In fact, we're now full of acorns and apples, so I'm going to have to upgrade those. So yeah, I'm unsure of which way to do it, because the dripstone route, while effective and cheaper, it's also not as reliable. So I'll have to think about that. In the meantime, I'll probably set up sand here. Now, crushing sand actually produces flint and clay as well. So I'll probably have 3 drawers for this spot with clay, flint, and sand. Now, I don't really have a use for a bunch of flint here. If I go back to sand, flint isn't very useful in general. There's not a whole lot I can do with it, but I can use it for making the andesite. So what I might end up doing is sort of half sending the flint up to the surface, or even just sending it, keeping it all down there. I might half and half it, so that way if it overfills down there, then it can just fill up in the drawer, and we'll want void upgrades, and I'll need to get this bigger upgrade too. It's already produced 300 in the time that it's taking me to record this, so it's pretty productive. And this has been producing well too. But yeah, we could probably do that. We'll definitely want the sand and the clay at least. And then maybe over here we have our andesite production, which will require a bit more space just because we need to produce lava as well. And that way we can just ship the flint straight across here. So I think I will work on that now. Also, quick aside, the actual underside here doesn't look very good. I will probably spruce this up just a bit. It's not going to look incredible, but I want it to at least be serviceable, because you'll need to be able to access this to make sure it's working properly. So yeah. Alright, so after working on it for a bit, we now have automation of clay, sand, and flint. The main production here is sand, so there might be in the future a separate production of clay. Flint isn't really that useful, so I mean, this will service as automation for the moment. I'm still working on fully decorating this because I'm kind of waiting on it to keep producing flint and clay, but the main production is the sand. Now, as for the production of andesite, I think I'm going to leave that for next time, as, I mean, here's the whole sand thing. Back here, we have a cobblestone generator as before. Then we have 2 crushing wheels. This one turns it into gravel, which if we watch in here, there's gravel. That gets turned into sand, clay, and flint. It's got like a 5% chance to make it clay, 10% to make it flint, and then 100% of the time that will make sand, so it could have extra products. So then here, it sorts it between the 3 lanes here, which then the items get blown up to their crates. So the thing with making lava by melting cobblestone is that we do in fact need to have those blaze cakes constantly, well, kind of constantly fed to the blaze. Now, that's not very easy to do, and that will require its own set of automation, so I'm thinking I'm going to go down the dripstone route, and it's probably going to be slow, but at least when we look at the recipe for andesite, we see that it only needs 100 millibuckets. And a cauldron of lava, I think, makes a full bucket of lava at once. So that means we'll get 10 blocks of obsidian for every time a cauldron makes a bucket of lava. And we'll just have to use probably a bunch of fluid pipes and mechanical pumps to pump that lava out of a bunch of cauldrons into a compacting thing, which will take flint and gravel and lava, turn into andesite before it gets blown up here. So what this means is that we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new items automated. Or no, actually this was automated before, so 4 new items with these 4. So that means we have 5 plus another 5 from there, so that's 10. The 2 foods inside of here, which if I check up on their production, I believe they're full now, yes. This one's nearly, no, yeah, it's full. So that's 12. And then the eggs over here making it 13. So we have 13 items automated so far for episode 4, which is not too bad. Next time I will hopefully get Andesite automated, which will be very useful early on here for all the things we're doing with Create. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time.